Yo, welcome to the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Brandon Perna. What? Oh, no, yeah, fuck me. That's Tom Grossi. Today's show, starting on a sad note, Demaryius Thomas, former Broncos legend, passed away last night unexpectedly. ESPN reported medical issues. Family members have said they believe it's seizures that Demaryius Thomas was dealing with for over the past year. And, probably some more info coming out about that. But that's what happened. I have never been so affected by the loss of somebody I didn't know. And it's just my heart is heavy. I'll get it together.
There's no need, bud. I mean, he's a guy who you see all the stories that have come out like since the news dropped, and it's just nothing but positivity. Like I just saw a clip today that like I think he was at training camp and he's taking off his shoes and he's signing it for people and like just giving away his shoes. And like and Tom Brady is tweeting about him, and the players all around the league, former players, current players, coaches. Everyone's kind of coming out and just saying like what an amazing human being Demaryius Thomas was. And, obviously it is an absolute tragedy what happened. And I think it's fantastic to see how much good he did in the short amount of time that he was here and how many people he affected and was able to kind of like touch their lives and what he did for the Broncos and, their fan base and their organization, and obviously he had a tremendous skill as a player and as a, talent, but it was kind of what he was doing off the field that seems to kind of resonate with people. Yeah,
I think he just carried like a positive energy about him. And like if you look through, his teammates and everybody talking about him, it's like a couple of the things they reference first are like just his smile. And like Tom Brady said he was a light. Peyton Manning said he was a better person off the field than he was a player. So I think that's what is like tragic is he was just he was a good person that meant a lot to a lot of people. And what is getting me is I lost my cousin earlier this year. And the circumstances were just similar. And it keeps like hitting me like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
And that's like, I don't want this whole show to be about that. And I didn't know I was going to fucking lose it right at the start here. But I think it's representative of how a lot of people who didn't even know DT feel today. And maybe it's because you associate it with something in your own life. I don't know.
Sure.
But it's crazy that I think my takeaway from this is a miracle happened last night. And I saw nothing but positivity on Twitter for the first time in my life. So just anybody feeling down today, I get it. We're going to move past it. I'm going to get my shit together. We're going to have a good show. This was not my plan. I thought, all right, I've gotten the tears out of the way. Tom, I tweeted out that I could hear Tom singing through the vents of my house when I was on the toilet this morning.
It's true.
And it made me laugh. I'm like, all right, I'm going to get in the right frame of mind to do this. So anyway, DT, you're loved. You're going to be missed. And this is not an easy one. So appreciate you carrying me when I couldn't talk there, Tom. And just want to have a good show today.
That's it. And that's all we're going to do. I mean,
Okay.
That's it. I got you, buddy. I got you.
Good God, the long shot. Good God. You guys are crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's we're gonna have a great show, but I think it's also, he was an awesome dude, and he meant a lot of things to a lot of people. And like you said, it's always that weird, like, when celebrities or athletes
Yeah.
or somebody pass away, and you don't have like that, like, I didn't know this person, like
No.
but those feelings are still there, like, and it's okay to have those feelings because it meant that person meant something.
Yeah.
And it seems that just from my timeline alone on my little slice of Twitter, he meant a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah. And I've never felt this way about like a celebrity or like an athlete's like passing.
Yeah.
I separate that pretty well, and I don't like to get emotional because I don't like the attention it draws to like myself. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want people to feel bad for me for feeling bad, that sort of thing. And so
That's not, I don't think that's it at all. I think it's, he obviously was somebody to you, even if you didn't like meet him and like know him on a first name basis or anything
yeah.
like that. He had an impact and of just who the kind of player that he was. And
Yeah.
more importantly, the kind of person he was.
And like, I'm trying to put my thoughts into, a video to do him justice, because I don't really do that well off the cuff. But it was weird. I was thinking about Demaryius Thomas a lot this week, and it's because the Broncos are playing the Lions, and there's this clip I saw of the last time they played with Peyton Manning, and Manning throws up this pass, and it's kind of like a short, crappy throw a little bit, kind of one of the Manning wobblers, and it's short.
Yeah.
And DT comes back to the ball, and he just jumps over Darius Slay, hauls it in, and then just takes off for the touchdown.
Yep.
And I saw that this week, and I was like, dang, I forget how good Demaryius Thomas is sometimes. Dude. And I was going to talk about that on Clickbait yesterday, and I couldn't find the clip again in the tweet or whatever. And I was like, I just forgot about it. But it's just strange because this week I was literally thinking about how good he was as a player and how dominant he was at the position. And it wasn't just because he had Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning definitely made the Broncos offense better.
Sure.
But he was a special player that just needed a quarterback like Manning to give him those opportunities to dominate on the field. And of course, like, one of the most famous plays is the walk-off touchdown in overtime from Tebow to DT. So I'm going to have, fun looking through some of the old like DT highlights, because he was special. And the longer you're away from, I think, a group in sports, and what I mean is like the Broncos group that had Manning, that had Thomas and Decker and Welker and Von Miller and this great defense, the longer you get away from that, you just forget certain things about it. And it's fun to go back and be like, oh my God, I wasn't even able to appreciate how good some of these guys were in their prime. So I'm going to try to do that this week. And now I figure out, as we move on with the show, how I appropriately segue into a DraftKings ad.
There's no way. I was like, while you were talking, I'm like, this is going to be a real tough transition.
Yeah.
DraftKings is just like, don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't even do it. But guess what? They support the show. We have the show continuing because of DraftKings. So if you're going to do your sports betting, do it at DraftKings with code GPS. We have that link in the description. I yesterday during Clickbait said Justin Jefferson was going to have 200 yards against the Steelers. Turns out it was just Dalvin Cook.
No, just Dalvin Cook who was going to do it.
So if you got a gut feeling about a player going off against a team, look for those player prop bets on DraftKings. I was really hoping Jefferson had the 200-yard night, but I was smart enough to put Dalvin Cook back in my fantasy lineup. And if you're into daily fantasy, you can do that with DraftKings Sportsbook. They've got millions of dollars worth of prizes they do every week. Code GPS, they'll match your first-time deposit bonus of up to $1,000.
Oh, yeah.
And you can bet on any team to score points. And if they score points, they're going to give you $100 in free bets. So check them out. DraftKings Sportsbook, code GPS. All right, Tom. Let's pick up the energy.
Oh, you want energy? Oh, okay. That's my
it.
time. I'm the energy guy. I'm like the Energizer Bunny. Listen, you want to talk about real quick? We want to talk about sports books. We're not going to mention them because I don't think we are allowed to mention them. But we're not talking about that other one. What we're going to talk about is a little congratulations.
Yeah.
And that's to Pat McAfee. You know, because Pat McAfee signing a 4-year deal with a opt-out after year 3. Gotta be very specific. From another sports betting thing, which cannot be named, but it's like if you are a lover of a team and you liked Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's time to, the thing. Anyway, Perna didn't watch anime, so he doesn't know what I'm talking about.
Yogi? You mean Yogi Bear?
Yes, exactly. That's that's the one. That's
I'm
one.
with you.
Pat and the boys get in $30 million a year.
Yeah, per annum.
I saw $30 million. I was like, oh, wow, that's a lot of money over like 4 years. Nay. Per year.
Yeah. They just crushed the Dan Le Batard deal, which I believe was $50 million over 3 years.
I mean, I just want to go out there. DraftKings, I'll take that deal. Like I will. I'm not a greedy man. I'll take the 50 over 3, and I'll split it with Perna too. Like we could cut that right down the middle. That's fine.
I bet you could get us for even cheaper, DraftKings. Wait, no, I mean more. I mean more.
That's what.
And shout out to the
cream,
people.
But then like I got vegan ice cream too, and like I don't want to make it complicated, and it gets messy because it melts. Yeah. But I do want to like take a moment because Pat McAfee does work his ass off, with the guys, and they put on a great product, and it's not kissing ass. It's just kind of admiration for a guy who got criticized after leaving the NFL and leaving a lot of money on the table, and going off and making his own thing. And I know as creators, both Perna and I can appreciate that and say, damn, that's look at what you did. You done made good. So yeah, that's
even
making more money than he ever did in the NFL.
Yeah. It's crazy to see. I think it's motivational too. It's like you and I don't do this obviously just for the money. You and I started doing this making no money for years, but now it's our job. And now we do make money doing this, and it's awesome. It is so awesome that I can pay my bills, support my family because of this. And like you do it working towards a goal. You think like, we're going to make the show better. I want to add more things to my channel. I want to do all these things, but
yeah,
Tom and I do everything on our own. And so you're kind of limited in what you can do there. And we wanted to do the show together because we thought we could put out a better thing together.
Yeah.
And this is just one more thing to keep you going. Like, oh, all right. I don't know if we'll ever have a payday like that. I don't really care if we ever get one like that, but maybe we can make this show at a level of quality that people associate it with what McAfee's doing. When they're thinking about like, oh, I'm going to listen to this or this. Or I was like, I'm going to the Grossi Perna Show. And it's like you see that, and the first thing I experience is like jealousy. Like, oh, damn, I want that. And then you're like, no, this is what's going to keep me working really hard and focused on doing this because we've got evidence now that it's worth it. And it's like as soon as Aaron Rodgers realizes Tom Grossi is a bigger Packers fan than Pat McAfee, maybe he'll join us we'll move the show to Tuesday to accommodate Aaron if that's
whatever he wants.
And But it's crazy.
There need to be daily COVID tests. But I think the thing is like you hit the nail on the head in turning out, like, we've been doing this a while now. You've been on YouTube longer than I have. And I mean, I started in 2015, and that was just the podcast. Like, that there was no YouTube element to it. And people ask, I get DMs every week. Tom, I want to start a show. I want to start a YouTube channel. I want to start a podcast. Any advice, what have you. And the advice that I give out, and some people don't like this advice, but you have to love it. There are people who've been reaching out and they're like, I'm looking to make a second income. So should I start a podcast? And I'm like, no, because that's not going to be it. I mean, like, I know you did. And just speaking for me, I did this for 3 years without seeing a dime. Like, I remembered my first month, because YouTube has a payout minimum that you have to reach $100. And I remember it took months and months and months for me to get to $100. And I was stoked when I hit $100. I'm like, wow, I got $100 from YouTube.
Yeah. And now people give you $100 in an instant via super chats. It's insane.
It's insane. And I think, like, it's a matter of, that's what keeps me going. It's the community that keeps me going, and seeing the stuff like McAfee, like, that's great. I'll be very honest. Like, if I don't need $30 million, a year, I'm happy to be able to do this and pay bills and do that. Yeah. And I think it's not even the money component. It's the validation that there are companies out there, what have you, that find this product valuable. Yeah. And it's a value that goes beyond, like, the norm of, like, oh, like, you make a couple $1,000 or something. Like, that's a lot of money. And I know it's for advertising and all that great stuff, but it's good to see, guys win one. And then the same thing, honestly, I felt the same way with Tree last night. Tree streaming, hitting 500,000 subs, that's fantastic. Like, because, he's one of our guys now. And, I knew of Tree. I was a fan of Tree, up until a couple of years ago when I actually, like, came in contact with him. So yeah, it's good to see and praise, your colleagues wins. So yeah,
100%. And Tree's like a guy I really root for, in that once you actually get to know him, how little he actually cares about trying to succeed on YouTube. Like, I think more than anybody I know, wants to stay true to the way he wants to make videos. Yeah. And I think that translates to the audience. Like, he doesn't care that every single one of his videos gets instantly claimed by the NFL and he'll make no money on it. Like, he's a guy I root for because he's so dedicated to doing it the way he wants to. And I think that's huge reason he's successful. Unlike me, who will stop on a dime to hoard myself in a different way if that's what I think it takes.
That's it, baby. That's it. So just want to take
Tom. Well, speaking of streaming, you sat through the entire Steelers Vikings game last night.
I did. True? I did. And I sat there. First of all, can I talk about Dalvin Cook for a second?
Oh my God, yes.
That, like, it looked like everyone else was in slow motion. He was running so fast. He's like, dislocated shoulder. Who? Pop that son of a gun right in. And he was taking off. Like, he was running hard. And right before the game started, I'm like, you know what? Let me put him in, because he was on my bench. I'm like, let me start him for fantasy.
Yes, me
too.
That
was a good move. Dalvin Cook tore it up. And I have to say, that first half was brilliant. Brilliant, because the Steelers could not do anything to move the football. They were getting sacked 4 times, I think it was in the first half. And then on top of that, their defense couldn't stop diddly squat. TJ Watt got hurt. He left the game. But
Alex Highsmith left the game too.
It was a clinic that the Vikings were putting on. And I was like, wow. Like, and they left points on the board too. And I was like, all right, the second half's going to start. The Steelers come out. They don't look good. And I was like, they're going to blow them out of the water. And then Zimmer's like, yeah, let's not do well. And like it completely shifted, and it got so conservative. And this is what Vikings fans have been complaining about for so long, because that game, they should have put up 40 points. Like, they should have put up over 40 points. Easy. Jefferson was not covered. Dalvin Cook was running hard, and they would, like, throw 3 times in a row. I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, just give it to Dalvin Cook. who's picking up like 5 to 10 yards every single time he touches the ball.
Yeah, I think it's like, I don't understand coaches second guessing what's working in a game. And I saw this about like Pat Shurmur this week answering the question about why the Broncos threw on 3rd and 2 in the game, which you criticized live. And he's like, well, I like to, when the defense thinks you're going to run it, throw it. And when they think you're going to throw it, run it. And that's just bad coaching. That's being a bad coach. That's not understanding what's working. If they cannot stop you running the ball, why do you get away from that and give the opposing team another chance to win? And on top of that, I think we got another, like a little bit of a glimmer of why Kirk Cousins doesn't work. And it's because he missed plenty of throws last night that would have put that game completely out of reach. Not all his fault. I'm not saying he was bad, but he's the kind of quarterback who's going to miss just enough opportunities in a game where anything's possible, including a comeback for the Steelers when they were down. Was it 24-0?
29-0. 29-0. And it should have been more. Those 2 field goals could have been touchdowns. I mean, I think it's funny because as you were saying that, like, you were basically just trying to like get away and like do a twist, right? It's kind of like, oh, these are your expectations? Well, let's flip those up. You know who else did that besides Zimmer and Pat Shurmur? You know also who did that? The head writers of Game of Thrones. And look how last season turned out. They're like, oh yeah, this is what you expect. Let's twist it up. And it sucked. So guess what? Don't be the show writers of Game of Thrones. Don't suck. Just stick with what's working.
Check in with George R.R. Martin every once in a while. Whoa.
Reed.
Thank you, Reed. And I will. Let's go into the Alzheimer's Association for sure. I appreciate that more than you know.
But yeah, Cook at the end of the day, like finished over 7.5 yards average per carry.
Yeah.
But dude, like in the first half, it was even more. Like he was crushing it.
It was so funny because before the game, I saw this video clip of Melvin Gordon. And he was talking about, somebody asked him if he's thinking about the future, like next season. He's like, hell yeah, I am. He's like, I want to be back. I want to be back with the Broncos. He's like, I don't think a lot of people want me back here. I see what's being said about me. He's like, but I want to be here. And like, I tweeted that clip that like Melvin Gordon doesn't get the credit that he deserves because he's a very good running back. And all people think about are when he fumbles the ball. But through the course of a game, I think he's important to the Broncos offense. I think he's got great vision. He's elusive. And I was like, let me just look where he's at statistically this season. Who's his comp right now? And I tweeted like his comp before the game right now is Dalvin Cook because Dalvin Cook was averaging 4.5 yards per carry and Melvin Gordon had one more rushing touchdown than him. And then Dalvin Cook goes on to average like a billion yards per carry, have the best night of his life. And I'm thinking, damn you, Dalvin. You're making my comparison look bad right now. You're making it look bad. He
just solidifies that he is one of the best running backs in the NFL. Like I've already given him that credit. Like, but he truly, like he is a game changer. Like I think if Dalvin Cook is playing against the Lions, I don't think the Lions win that football game. I'm very happy that the Lions won the football game. But I think the other thing I wanted to talk about is Chase Claypool. Like, here's the thing. I'm going to talk about all the good stuff too. He made some catches that were unbelievable because there were some balls that Ben Roethlisberger threw up and it truly was a 50-50 ball. And he's like, nothing else is happening. And he did it a couple times where he just threw it to the sideline. The defender is right in front of the receiver. And he's like, go and try to get it. And they come down with it. And Claypool made some absolutely crucial catches, super duper clutch. Now that I have that out of the way, what an idiot. Like, what are you doing? Like, you have the penalty in the first half, right? But that's a whole nightmare. But
that was like the shove, right?
Yeah, that was the shove. But, oh, man. Dude, I mean, it's his second year, so he's a young player. But He completes they get the first down, and the clock is running. They have no timeouts, and he's showboating with the football. And like one of the teammates is trying to grab it from him, then the ball pops out and it's rolling on the ground. They waste a ton of time. And guess what? They could have used that at the end because they probably could have had at least one more play where they could have taken a shot at the end zone. But oh boy, Chase Claypool, bud. Like that's one of the things you just can't do.
Yeah. I thought the tweets about because he missed that block too, right?
Yeah.
He missed the block. And I think it was in reference to that. So it was like, this is not how you get to the music you want played at practice, Chase. Because like it was either this week or early last week. They were asking about the Steelers practices, and Chase was like, it'd be nice if we could have like some music at practice. And Mike Tomlin's like, I don't give a shit about music. Like Chase Claypool needs to worry about, practicing and playing wide receiver. I'll worry about how we structure the practices. And it's just like, yeah, it's little things like that when your team is not great. Like that's the difference between winning great seasons in the NFL versus like average seasons. Like I've seen it year after year with the Broncos lately where they can have a decent game, and the Steelers did not have a decent game. Their run defense was horrible. They were getting blown out, but they did well enough to fight back into it.
Yep.
And then little costly things like that, they add up, and we saw it last night. Didn't work out.
No,
I do respect the Vikings for really trying to lose that game.
They did
even
everything
though
in
they
their power.
Dominated in every aspect of it.
Every aspect. Like Justin Jefferson
special.
could not be covered.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook could not get tackled. Like everything. And then they're like, all right, guys, like what if we lost the game?
Yeah. Dude, I shut that game off twice thinking it was over.
Yeah, I wanted to, but I think the most important thing to come out of this game is just the need for the Minnesota Vikings after this big win to extend Mike Zimmer, give him a big fat contract, because obviously he is the coach to lead them into the future, to lead this kind of game and this win. Yeah, Zimmer needs to be the guy in the Minnesota Vikings locker room for quite some time.
I feel you.
He needs to be there.
It's, I'm trying to think of, I wish John Gruden could have stayed with the Raiders longer. I think the way I felt about Gruden was probably the way you feel about Mike Zimmer as a division rival.
Listen,
Tom?
Matt Nagy, Mike Zimmer, either extend them or trade them to each other's teams.
Extend them, and you probably kind of want Dan Campbell traded out.
Yeah, I like Dan Campbell too much.
Because there's
he
like
can
this chance if they hold on to him.
Bring Matt Patricia back.
Flip the locker room for you.
Just do that. And also change Mike Zimmer's name to Matt, just so we have 4 Matts as head coaches again. Like I want Matt Patricia, Matt Nagy, Matt LaFleur, and then I just want all of them. So
the Matts.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Like that's all I want. That's all I want. Mike Zimmer stays throughout the fourth quarter. Dude, it was great. Like he was watching them choke in real time. Like it truly was something to see.
Well, Zimmer.
I did want to say, hire Meyer. The other thing I want to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to prepare yourselves. Tom Grossi is about to talk about college football.
Oh, dun 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 dun. Dun. That's college music.
I think that's a jump around. That's the Wisconsin Badgers. Jump around.
Go Badge.
Anyway, this was talked because people were bringing this up last week with the fake slide. And I think I brought it up on this show too. Like I was talking about the fake slide.
Yeah.
And the NCAA banned the fake slide after that resulted in a touchdown. And I have to say that is a phenomenal decision. And I want the NFL to do the same exact thing. Because I know you just want to see NFL blitz like in real time.
I want quarterbacks trying to do it and failing, because I don't think you can do it that well that often. Overall, it's probably a good rule. God knows we don't need more rules to help quarterbacks. But that was Kenny Pickett for Pitt, who I'm sure Steelers fans are salivating over, hopefully getting for their team. But yeah, so it's banned. Can't do it anymore. What's the
Can't do
penalty?
it.
Is it like a 15-yarder? Do we know
I don't
yet,
even know
or?
what kind of, but I have to. So here's the thing. Because I've talked about this on this show, I've talked about this on my channel. It's that QBs, and you started to see it as a whole bunch of like mobile QBs started running, and they would run along the sideline, pretend to go out of bounds. The defender stops or slows down,
Yeah.
and they scamper and get another few yards, or they get a first down. Mahomes does this. Lamar Jackson has done this. Aaron Rodgers has done, like, mobile QBs do this.
Yeah.
And like, I hate that because it basically stops the game of football to allow the quarterback to get more, because the defender's afraid of hitting them, because they're basically 90% of the time that's going to be a flag.
We watched Pat Surtain not hit Patrick Mahomes running into the end zone last week.
Yep.
Because he didn't know if he could hit him there.
Yep.
Like, he's in bounds heading towards the end zone, and you've got an NFL corner like, I should probably not hit him.
I remember that. That it is Mahomes against the Titans. He pretended to run out of bounds and then cut back inside and then runs in for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Like, it's because all these rules, and I'm not saying the rules are bad to protect QBs, because I think, the QBs are the money makers for the league, right? You want to see the Mahomes out there, the Rodgers out there, the Bradys out there. You want to see that. But at the same time, like, it literally hurts the game of football when you have defense unable to already play defense. But this takes it another level, that they're literally like stopping and being like, okay, I'm just going to hope that you go out of bounds like you think you're going to, because I can't hit you.
Yeah.
And I think that it's frustrating. Like, I'm going to bring in a bunch of sports. There was a UFC fight that happened. Like, I want to say it's a few years ago now at this point. It might've been last year, where I think like someone threw a punch or something and they jammed their finger or something like that. And he goes to like stop the fight. Like, the fighter literally like reaches his hand up to like check his finger. And like the ref is like, I don't think he can stop the fight. Like it just hurt his finger. Like, like they're literally punching each other in the head. And that's how I feel like it is. Like with a QB, like if you're running and like the defender's like, well, I gotta stop now because I can't touch this guy, because then it's gonna be a 15-yard penalty. So
yeah, we saw Josh Allen drew one of those flags in the Patriots game, where he was running out of bounds and he kind of jumped, and I think the Patriots defender just pushed him.
They got flagged for that. I said on Twitter, I'm like, that's a terrible call. I'm like, that's a terrible call. He's still in bounds. That's how overly cautious you have to be. And like, I would never want to play defense in this league, because like you are going full speed. And like, you are basically like, oh no, I got to pump the brakes. I have to make sure that I don't hit this guy, even if he's in bounds, because there's a good chance I'm going to get flagged.
I think I have a solution though, Tom. Let me tell you.
Hit the refs.
The issue is athletic QBs taking advantage of that, correct?
Sure.
Well, I think there just needs to be a qualifier. There's got to be a marker on a quarterback's 40 time. And if you're faster than the certain 40 time, you cannot fake slide or fake going out of bounds. But if you're slower than it, which means you're almost never going to use it as a power, you can do it. So like Big Ben Roethlisberger right now definitely qualifies for being able to fake slide or fake going out of bounds, because it'll take him an eternity just to get to the sideline. I'm trying to think who else would be a good QB.
I love it's like how you get older and you get like AARP. You're just like, listen, you're slower now, so now you could like, you can pull some tricks out of the bag. It's like activating a Madden ability. You're just like, hey, now you can do a fake slide.
And honestly, like Tom Brady might be faster now than when he was 20. I saw it in the Bucs game like a couple weeks ago. He juked a defender out of his socks. I was like, I always look for reasons to criticize Brady's game, but even I was like, dang. Ooh. Tom's got a little shuffle there.
What if you fake your 40 time? You just like you phone it in. You're just like,
you can't.
I can't run.
The NFL's got to come up with a drug they give the player that forces them to run as fast as they can, and it's got to be very dangerous too. The drug itself.
Oh yeah, the Packers are not going to play Jair unless he's 100% ready. So I'm not too concerned about that. But I say hold on to him until you know he's 100% ready. So. No, it pushes for a buff for Tom Brady. That's it. He just wants to see Tom Brady do well. That's all.
Please, Tom, give up.
And you know what? That's the thing. We all want you to do well in case you decide to enter into the world of sports betting. And the
Boom.
way you do that,
the best way to do it is to send Tom Brady your love and medical and workout advice. And you do it with code GPS at DraftKings Sportsbook.
Nailed it.
America's only sportsbook that I can see. Use our code. Our link is in the description. New customers, they're going to match your first time deposit. So you put in $100, they're going to give you $100 in free bets. And they'll do that all the way up to $1,000. And right now, you can bet on any team to score points. If they score points, they're going to give you $100 in free bets. I would like to see if they're going to allow the fake QB slide in the NFL. I want over-unders on which QBs will use the fake slide once a year, twice a year. Most likely to not use a quarterback fake slide. I'm going to say, who's the most immobile QB right now, Tom?
I mean, Roethlisberger ran last night, so good for him. But, I mean, he's up there.
Joe Flacco was there. He played a game this season.
Yeah.
I don't know. But don't be an immobile QB.
Don't.
Download the DraftKings mobile app instead. Oh, yes.
Nailed it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They support the show. Just the way, that other company supported McAfee. DraftKings supports Tom and I. So check them out if you want
$30 million.
Yeah, DraftKings just said they're going to give us $1 million. I do like. So that news about McAfee came out. A bunch of people started. I tweeted it, and then people were like, "When is DraftKings going to give Tom and Brandon $50 million a year?" Yeah. So I added DraftKings something like, "Your move, DraftKings." They haven't got back to us. But I so much appreciate the support of you guys being like, well, they're going to give McAfee $30 million. What are you guys going to give Tom and Brandon?
That's true.
And
by the way, I actually really like this idea. Once a QB is past the line of scrimmage, they're treated like a running back. I love that idea.
Yeah.
The NFL will never do it because, again, they want to do everything.
They're supposed to be treated like a running back.
Yeah.
They just, QBs are going to slide to avoid contact. So,
yes. So,
yeah, they're supposed to be a ball carrier, and the same rules are supposed to apply, but they don't.
Yep. I mean, because that's the thing. You've seen QBs take a legal hit. Like, they get popped, and there's a flag. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. One of the most brutal hits a quarterback took after they slid was Joe Flacco.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was a Thursday night game, too, as the Ravens-Dolphins. But Joe goes down to slide, and the Dolphins player just comes in and takes his head off. His helmet, boom.
Yep.
Flacco was concussed, and that's, why you don't want to see that happen. A guy goes down, and he takes a headshot. It is just the worst-case scenario.
Yep.
And it's almost worse, you're giving up your body and then taking a shot. It's like it wouldn't happen if you were still trying to run. I don't know. It doesn't happen often, but
because you're kind of like, all right, I'm relaxed a little bit. I'm sliding. I'm not gonna. Oh, my head is off. Yeah. 100%. Brandon Perna, we got some games to break down for Week 14 in the NFL here.
Oh, we do. There's some.
We do.
We're back into the good games category, I think. Sort of for the weekend.
Yeah, there's some bad ones, but there's some gems in there.
Important games, really. Yeah.
There's Kiko Alonso, the one.
It was Kiko.
Yeah. That was a shot. Dallas, Washington. I know the clickbait gang didn't really think that. I think it was 5, right? Or was it Tree who said that Washington was going to get destroyed? I think 5 said it. That Washington was going to get destroyed by the Cowboys. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think in Washington, you have to accommodate for the poo water that is going to be flowing out onto the fans. So they'll be extra loud because they'll be screaming as the feces is on them. So that'll amplify the noise. And if it's when the Cowboys have the ball, that could be a game changer.
Yeah. I think football teams got a little momentum. I think they're a better coach team. They're the gritty, upsetty team. It's not going to
Upsetting.
be.
Whoa, upsetting.
We're very upsetty. They're going to keep it close, I think. Even if they lose, I feel like it'll be close. It's just the way they're playing right now. And I think the clickbait crew wants to write off Taylor Heineke. I don't think you can. I think he's a baller. I think he's a gamer. I think the Brett Favre comp is spot on. And yes, he does not have the same arm strength as Favre, but he games the way Favre does. He tries to make plays when he shouldn't the way Favre does. But overall, you're better with him, I think, at QB. And Fitzpatrick's done for the season. He has to get the hip surgery. So it's like, this is a great opportunity for Heineke to show he can be, a starter at quarterback.
Sure.
And let's be honest, like the dude played just a couple games last season.
Yeah.
It's not fair you have to kind of judge him the way you would judge a rookie, I feel like, at this point. I know he played in various other leagues, the XFL. Was he a Canadian football? Like, he was all over the place trying to get back, like, to get in the NFL. So I think he can grow. I think he can get better. And the Cowboys, I just don't trust them. Like, I want to buy into their offense being elite and great. And they have, it's like all the pieces are there. They're the Kirk Cousins of NFL offenses. That's how I'll put it.
Listen, the Vikings looked godly in that first half. Yeah. But then the Vikings reminded you why they're the Vikings. Like, that's what they did in the second half. They were just like, wow, let's exceed all your expectations. All right, let's bring you back down now. Like, that's basically what happened. But all I know is Wildflower, if he is able to take him down, will there be something special? So I'm all about it. There's a lot of things going on in Wildflower's life right now. So this would be big for him.
I'm thinking about your future, Tom, in, I don't know, like 4 years, when every week you have to do the entire NFL's reaction to week 13.
Yeah.
And it's every character you've created. And every Tuesday you're uploading a 3-hour film about the NFL.
You know what? That sounds pretty accurate. We're going to have to cut down on some of the other content. But yeah, I think that's... Tuesday's episode took 12 hours. I worked 12 hours straight. From 12 to 2, I wrote it, and then I recorded it, and then I edited it. So,
and that's you got what, 8 characters there? 4 to 8 characters?
9. That was 9 one. That was 9. Yep, buddy. Well, that's the thing. Next year is the AFC and NFC South. Then the following year is the AFC and NFC North. So
I know. So then year 3, it's all of them. Just all. You're basically like it's like Eddie Murphy, when he plays like every character in the movie. Or have you ever seen like John Leguizamo's one-man show?
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably a better comp.
I appreciate that. I'm going to take that as a compliment.
Have you ever watched John Leguizamo's one-man stuff? You should. I think it'll give you an appreciation for him as a performer. Anyway.
Next game on the docket. I think this game could be real good. 49ers Bengals. This is like the Chargers Bengals, in which I was like, any one of those teams could actually win.
Yeah, prove it game.
And here, 49ers coming off a loss to the Seahawks. Bengals dislocating their pinky into a loss against the Chargers. And like, these are two teams which kind of have different approaches, because you can have like high-powered offense, especially with like Elijah Mitchell. George Kittle is playing well. But, Jimmy G is limited, but they can still definitely win. And then the Bengals, they can have an amazing high-powered offense. Jamar Chase has kind of been sleeping for a while. T. Higgins has been going off the past couple of weeks. But you don't know about both of these teams are in playoff contention, so I think that this is going to be a good game, just to kind of see like, all right, two teams duke it out. And this might be like a last minute kind of thing.
You mentioned Jamar Chase.
Yep, I know.
Let's see here. Yeah, so the narrative this preseason with Jamar Chase, can't catch the ball, right? Had all those drops. Then the regular season starts, comes out, dude is on fire, catching a touchdown basically every week from Joe Burrow. But quietly, Jamar Chase is now tied with Robbie Anderson for the most drop passes this season. And last week was his worst. Last week, the ball hits him in the hands, and then it fumbles its way to the Chargers for an interception, which made me bring up the point that the wide receivers need to have the interception stat on them sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't
Rams.
And so I think that's something to keep an eye on. It was an issue. It's kind of an issue. And last week, I think it really hurt the Bengals. So Robbie Anderson and Jamar Chase leading the league there. And then I also saw a stat this week. The Chiefs as a team, I believe, have the most drops. So
I don't doubt that. I've watched a few Chiefs games and I'm like, yep, that makes a lot of sense.
Kelsey's had a lot. Tyreek Hill's had a lot. But
yeah,
who do you think? I mean, the 49ers have the rest. Both of these teams have the recipe to win, and it's run the ball. And the difference is like Joe Burrow's better than Jimmy G, and you can get more out of the Bengals offense in the passing game. So I think the Bengals win this one.
I said the Bengals win, but I believe in the 49ers consistency more.
Yeah.
Because I think that they just have a recipe to win. I mean, divisional game last week against the Seahawks, that's how it goes sometimes. But yeah, I picked the Bengals to win, but I would not be shocked in any which way if the 49ers wind up just like running it down their throats, because the defense for the Bengals looked horrible. They got after Justin Herbert a few times, like in back-to-back sacks, and I think they sacked him 4 times, but they look bad for that first half. Like they got behind quickly.
Oh yeah. And the Niners can do that to you. And the Niners, I mean, they almost beat Seattle last week. They did exactly what the Broncos did. They drove the length of the field and then failed to score any points. So speaking of, Broncos got the Lions on Sunday.
Do.
Woo!
The white hot Lions. Look at that winning streak. Winning streak.
I think the Broncos will win this game, but I won't be surprised if they don't. I just won't be surprised. The Lions. Did you hear the Detroit Lions song this week? The Lions won a game.
Yeah.
I'm hoping if the Broncos lose, we get the follow-up to that song, and the Lions won 2 games.
See, again, I've said it. Nostradamus called that their first win would be against Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
I do not want the Detroit Lions to win another game this season, because I want that stain to be on the Minnesota Vikings that they are the only team that lost to the Lions this year. Out of all the teams they played 17. Well, I mean, they played a couple twice. They were the only ones. Only ones. I want our backups. I want Jordan Love or Kurt Benkert to go out there in week 18 and destroy the Lions. Like I need that in my life, because I hate the Vikings. So
yeah. Thank you, Greg. Sorry about that, man.
So I need that to happen in my life.
You do.
I think Denver should win.
Yeah. Should.
Here's how you win, Perna. Listen, this is called a little from the Bill Belichick playbook. You sneak in to the hotel where the Detroit Lions are staying, and you steal all the aspirin. Oh no, they're not able to take aspirin 24 hours before the game to get acclimated to Mile High. You're supposed to take an aspirin. You're supposed to do that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's coming from the East Coast, and as someone who's ventured to Colorado, they're like, yeah, I got to take an aspirin. Get to make sure you get acclimated.
Altitude sickness, huh?
Yep, you don't want to get out that altitude sickness. You take all the aspirin away, boom, Detroit Lions, they're wobbly, they're running backwards, they don't know where they are, and that's Jared Goff after he's taken aspirin, but he's still running backwards. So, just saying, that is...
Yeah, I'm hoping for a classic Jared Goff fumble, maybe scooped and scored by the Denver defense.
Yep.
I'm hoping the Broncos use their receivers in this game. Because since they extended Tim Patrick and Cortland Sutton, they've just been ignored in the passing game, which is really weird. And I want your narrative to be true, Tom. I really thought it was funny that last night's game was pitched as the the bowl between the two teams who couldn't beat the Lions.
Yep.
Like, oh, that's so true.
I need it. Then we got, now we'll talk about Packers. We'll leave them. Let's talk about Buffalo and Tampa.
Woo, that's the game I got my eyes on while also watching the Broncos at the same time.
Talk about a game that the Buffalo Bills, I mean, are we at need to win right now? I feel like we're at need to win.
Yeah. I mean, not mathematically, because the AFC is
correct.
Crapshoot.
They're just all over each other. Like it's a mosh pit mixed with an orgy, mixed with
mosh pit orgy.
Black Friday.
I think a mosh pit orgy is just what the Bills Mafia does before a football game.
That was my band's in high school. That's what their name was.
Mosh pit orgy?
Yep.
Nice.
We had one song. It was called "Ah!"
That's what an orgy sounds like, kids.
And a mosh pit.
And a mosh pit. This is I think this is the most important game for the Bills since the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
And
I don't have confidence in them.
No, they need the confidence and the momentum for themselves moving forward. And I think you can snowball that with a win against the Bucks, parlay that into another win. Well, your first win over the Patriots this season, because you got to play them again. And close out strong, go into the postseason, riding that wave high.
I thought that's what you were going to say, part of the most important game since Monday.
Yeah. Since Monday was very, but like Monday's game kind of got tarnished by the weather.
Yeah.
You can't blame the weather for a loss, but you know, it really was like the Bills fought two opponents.
Yeah.
And you could say that about the Patriots, but no, the Patriots used the weather in their benefit.
They did. They really, really did, because Belichick might be an avatar. He might be. He might be an avatar.
He might be.
I'm not talking about the James Cameron one. I'm talking about the M. Night Shyamalan one. I'm not even talking about the anime, because you know it's bad.
Yeah.
But that's what it's gonna be. When Tom it's pretty awkward, Harrison. It's pretty awkward, but you get used to it pretty quickly. You find the groove. We're not talking about some primetime games, Brandon Perna. Sunday night football, and I'm not going to lie, a little wind has been taken out of the sails. I know, no, we're not talking about the Buccaneers anymore and their pirate ship. We're talking about the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay mother-loving Packers.
Chicago?
Yeah. Okay. Here's what I'm talking about. No, I didn't say Avatar was bad. It's not. Technically, it's animated. It's not anime. No, I'm saying the movie was bad. The M. Night Shyamalan. I want to be very clear there. Okay. Anyway, Justin Fields, rookie QB, coming back after bruising his ribs. He's like, ouchies. That hurts every time I breathe. Oh, wait, that's not the ribs. That's just being on a team run by Matt Nagy. Anyway, Allen Robinson, I think he's limited participant in practice today, but that guy never wants to play. Allen Robinson, who, by the way, chose actively not to go to the Green Bay Packers, and instead of catching touchdowns from Aaron Rodgers, went to the Bears. So I feel no sympathy. Came out and was just like, I love Lambeau Field, man. I love playing there. I feel like a little kid. Well, guess what, Allen? You could have played there, but you blew it. So I have no sympathy.
I hope Allen Robinson and OBJ are on the same bad offense next year.
I hope so, too. I hope they're terrible. I hope
Go
they're
play with a good quarterback, the Hall of Fame quarterback. If you're a wide receiver and you've got a chance to play with a Hall of Fame quarterback, I recommend it.
I do it. Tom. Anyway, Jair Alexander, a limited participant in practice, came off the IR list. He has got 3 weeks to be activated. 3 weeks. I don't know if you'll see him play on Sunday, but looking pretty good. But I think, you save him, hold him, see if you could do it. The only guy I'm really worried about, Dave Montgomery, Darnell Mooney a little bit, but this is a game the Packers should slap the absolute piss out of the Bears. Like, coming out of a bye, which they're not too great coming out of a bye, but, oh, man. Justin Fields, he's injured. You have the O-line, which is trash. I love David Montgomery, and he could always be a problem, but the defense is looking pretty good. People getting a little bit healthy. Yeah, they should absolutely destroy the Bears. I'm all for it. And I wanted to do it on this show. You see, I still had the from our Thanksgiving episode, I had the pin in the Bears voodoo doll that they would keep Matt Nagy. And so now, in preparation for Bears week against the Green Bay Packers, I'm going to place another pin. Once again, not in the mind, but now Aaron Rodgers takes your soul and your heart. Done.
Bye-bye, soul.
Done. And
try to make a Pixar movie about that one, Chicago.
Oh my God, we just said Pixar at the same time. Woo! The best was clickbait yesterday. I was literally going to hit the French intro to close it out for the countdown. That was great.
That's why we deserve $50 million a year from DraftKings. Tom.
That's it.
We're always on the same page.
So yeah, and then the Monday night game, big implications here. Rams Cardinals.
Here's an observation, because we've talked a lot about the NFC, and you've got the Packers, the Bucks, and the Cardinals. All great teams, all have great quarterbacks, all have good defensive play.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's going to happen in the playoffs? What's crazy about those three teams as well is they have all been battle tested this year. So the Cardinals got wins without Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. The Packers, we all know via this show how many injuries they've had and made it through this year. And even the Buccaneers offense, to a little bit lesser extent, they played without Gronk, without AB. They still have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin there. When they get those guys back, all these teams, these really good teams, are going to probably head into the playoffs healthier than they've been all year.
Yep.
And I don't know what's going to happen.
Yep.
If they're all healthy and they all play each other, and that makes for really, really good football. So the Cardinals getting the Rams a week after they inserted Murray and Hopkins back in the lineup. It's going to be interesting. The Rams underperforming the last month.
They didn't win in the month of November.
Yeah. I really want to see the Cardinals just run away with the NFC West. But I also want to see Von Miller help get Matthew Stafford to a Super Bowl. Sorry, I know, Tom, you've got the Packers. But I love Stafford. I love Von Miller. I want the success for those guys. But I don't think the Rams are going to put it together. And I think we're going to see the disparity between the Cardinals and the Rams in prime time.
I mean, the Cardinals owned them in the first matchup. The score was not as close as it finished. But yeah, no. Reed, by the way, doing another fitting to
We're going to I'll put all the super chats today towards the Alzheimer's Association. No, YouTube takes a cut of that. It's not, we're not doing the official charity thing, but everybody who donated today, I really appreciate it. We've got close to $500. I'll drop that in the Alzheimer's Association ASAP.
I got a letter from them yesterday thanking me for my $250 donation.
There you go. Boom. Yeah, Tom was a huge donor last year. Appreciate it. The one you did, the mitochondria?
Mitochondrial disease. Yeah.
Yeah. Really bad one. I get their mail. So just know when you make a donation, the charities are going to send you some mail because, part of the thing is that they need to keep donations going.
But, do you know how many charities I get? Dude, the amount of charities I've donated to this year alone, I get a lot of mail on that. And some of it's great. Because even the puppy that we had adopted, and for the guy, the support dog, I get pictures of the puppy every now and then. So that makes me very happy.
That's cute. That's nice.
So, yeah, it's going to be a pretty good week of football. I'll be streaming the Buffalo Bills and the Buccaneers game, the Sunday night game, the Monday night game. We'll be doing all those streams, trying to get to 230,000 subs this weekend. I was trying to get to 250
channel.
I was trying to get to 250 by the end of the year, but it's not going to happen. Too slow.
Yeah, I wanted to get to 300, and I'm not even gonna sniff that.
It's okay.
It's all right.
Buddy. We did it.
We did it together.
I got you. So, you got anything coming out this weekend?
Yeah, I wasn't, but
yeah.
We're gonna do Demaryius Thomas video today. I promise I won't cry through the first 10 minutes of it like I did in this episode. But I'm trying to do him justice, put together something that I think pays tribute to him and hopefully kind of captures the way Broncos fans and DT fans are feeling. So it's always weird, like these kind of videos. Like I don't want to rush to do them because I don't want people to think like you're trying to capitalize on
I have very weird feelings
the
about it.
loss about it.
Yeah.
But like DT was really important to Broncos fans. He was important to a lot of people. So I think it's just about trying to pay respect to him. And Will Keys, I do the podcast with. He's on vacation, but he's writing in it right now. And I think it's just like we both feel like we want to put our thoughts and feelings into it. So hopefully it comes off as respectful and, not the other thing. And you see that happen. It's like when somebody you don't talk about, like Kobe Bryant, and then all of a sudden somebody makes a video and you're like, wait, you're trying to, use that for your own thing. And I don't want to ever do that. And I think it's different when it's somebody you've followed really closely and you have genuine feelings about it. So that'll be coming out later today. That was a long-winded answer. Anyway, appreciate your help today, Tom.
Of course, buddy. I got you. I didn't comment on I was talking about it last night. Yeah, he had core muscle surgery. Really? So he might not be back this season. He's out indefinitely right now.
Damn.
So that kind of sucks. So just got to go get a Super Bowl for him. And that's it.
Go get that Cobby Soupy Bowl.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you joining here for Friday. Another episode of GPS will be back on a Monday. 11 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Mountain Time. But folks, thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS, and you've been navigated.
And you have reached your destination.